We're back with the Screen Team. It's a full hour show, and we're getting ready to do a new edition for you here. And I'm being joined by my good friend, Jerry Foster. Jerry, how you doing, man?
Doing great. How are you doing, Chris?
Wonderful. We haven't seen you here on the Screen Team since you guys did the whole Ernie Lewis band.
Yeah, the takeover.
The takeover.
That was cool.
That was fun, man.
That was a good time. Good grief. That's like 3 years ago.
That was a long time ago. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you guys had some good films. You guys did a Hard Day's Night and a couple of other musical movie ones. And today, this is all you. This is all you on this one, man. So you can't blame anybody else.
No, that's all right. That's all right. When this becomes the most watched Screen Team episode,
hey,
you're going to ask me to come back more.
You bet you I am. You better believe I am. The first film we're going to do is a movie called Waiting for Guffman, which is a movie I had never, ever heard of before.
Yeah.
But I was familiar with the folks who have done it because they've done so many, what are they called, like mockumentaries?
Yes. Yeah. Mighty Wind, Best in Show.
Yeah.
That's just a couple off the top of my head.
Yeah.
It's a great cast.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys, and the really neat thing about this is when I read or listened to the commentary on the DVD, they basically just said, okay, here's the premise. Let's go. Kind of like Trailer Park Boys, if you've ever watched that.
I haven't, no.
It's a Canadian show. It's actually got a cult following in the U.S. Hilarious television show. Some great characters on it. It's basically these three guys that are scheming in the trailer park.
Yeah.
But this was very similar. That's exactly what this format was. From what I understand, there was little to no script. It was just, hey, we're going to make a movie about some crazy people trying to put a play on for the sescentennial.
Yeah, 150th year in business, basically, and it's a little town called Blaine, Missouri, which I'm assuming is a fictional town, right?
Yes, I actually had to look that up myself.
Okay, cool.
Man.
But their history is obviously a pretty funny one to the movie.
Absolutely.
They've got a guy who discovered it, and they thought that. They thought they had discovered California or they discovered the ocean, right?
Yeah.
And they found out that it was actually just a river, and they didn't want to say anything for a while. So they had stuff, things like that, and then they had things where the first alien landed at their town, and so they had all these historical events happen at their town, and they wanted to make a play of it, right?
And it was also the stool capital of the world.
That's right. President McKinley or somebody like that came in
on a whistle-stop tour by train, stopped and said, "I like the stools you make." Yeah, it's hilarious. First time I ever watched it, I was in college, and it was just some guy in a class I was in. He's like, "Hey man, you do theater. You need to see this movie called Waiting for Guffman."
Yeah.
I said, "Well, what's it about?" He's like, "Man, it's hilarious. They made up this town, Blaine, Missouri, and it's the local guys trying to put on this play, and just every possible type of character you can think of is in it."
Everybody from Christopher Guest, who he wrote it and directed it, and he was the Corky. He was Corky in the
Corky.
film. He was in charge of producing the play and directing it as well. And of course, you have all the other same kind of characters and actors that you've seen in a lot of other Christopher Guest movies, like Eugene Levy was in it. Catherine O'Hara was in it as well, and they're all just funny.
What's his name? Fred
Willard.
I almost said Willis. Fred Willis.
Yeah.
Fred Willard. Yeah, I loved his character. Fred Willard plays this character. He's what are they called? They sell
travel agent.
Yeah, travel agent.
Yeah.
Gosh, you don't even need one of those nowadays.
You
just do it all online.
Yeah.
His character is so funny because he's this overzealous.
What was so funny about his character was he was a travel agent, him and his wife, and they had never left Blaine, Missouri.
Never.
There's just so much dry humor in this film, man. It's just so good.
It's so quirky and camp and dry, and there's all kinds of humor. I mean, there's even a little bit of overt, silly humor.
Yeah.
The character Corky, obviously, just good grief. Everything out of Christopher Guest's mouth, who played Corky, is just something to laugh at. Very quotable,
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to go home and bite my pillow, Like, what? Who says that, man?
Right.
bite my pillow. So when I'm watching a movie like this, the creative person in me, or the wannabe creative person in me, is thinking, how do they just come up with this? And if this is what made the film, what didn't make the film? I would love to see the outtakes, because how could you not be in that cast and not constantly be just doubled over in laughter?
Yeah. You know, when I was thinking about this, when you're watching this movie, you understand that these characters are all very quirky, all very different. I guess is a nice way of saying it. But do the people in the movie, do they know that they're quirky? Do they know that they're different? You know, because the only one who stood out and was like, you know, was Brian Doyle Murphy's character. He was the only one that was like, what is going on with, you know, with this guy? You know,
yeah, he's kind of got the.
But everybody else in this town was like, oh, it's just it's normal.
Yeah, know? And they bought into the whole hook, line, and sinker that Corky was this master producer of Broadway production type plays. And, but it was just, you know, I was just amazed at how quick these people were on their toes. I mean, man, that's for me personally to try to do something like that. I'm in no way, shape, or form an actor. Not in that area. It would take me months to come up with some of the, like, I would have to sit down and write. You know, you just get the idea that this stuff rolls off their heads. Like, that is amazing. But at the same time, I was able to still stay focused on the movie and laugh. But at the same time, I was just truly amazed at the quick wit. You know, that's the only way I can describe it. Just very quick-witted. For a guy like me who has a terrible attention span, easy to follow and stay in. You know, it keeps you waiting. Just some of the silly stuff. David Cross's character, when he's like, every year I come back to this area, and the thing is, the circumference changes, but the diameter does not, and it's always 62 degrees with a 30% chance of rain in this little crop circle. You know, it's like, wow, that is brilliant. To me, that is absolutely genius. You know, just brilliant.
It's really, really is a great movie. Who would you suggest this to? Who do you think would like it?
Well, it is a prerequisite to date me. You have to like this.
There you go. I mean, is this a comedy for everybody? You think everybody's going to like this kind of movie?
You know, first and foremost, obviously, you'd want to show this to people like, saying, the local stage company. They would get it. They'd get jokes like, I'll strike the set. You know, when Fred Willard's character is trying to show that, you know, oh, he's theater savvy. He knows to say, strike the set. Anybody that appreciates quick wit, I don't want to sound mean, but I think there is a certain intelligence quotient you would need to really enjoy the movie, get the jokes. At the same time, I mean, I don't want to sound like a snob either and be like, oh, it's only exclusive to people that, I think anyone could enjoy it. I think anybody with a sense of humor could get it, and anybody from Missouri.
Blaine in particular.
If you're from Blaine.
The movie's called Waiting for Guffman, and you can find it on DVD. Coming up after the break, we're going to review Roommates. It's coming up next on KWOC.